For Nelson Mandela, the idea of turning his prison number into a commercial brand wasn't just about raising money.
Peter Greste, an award-winning journalist whose work spans the globe. He worked with the BBC for more than a decade, reporting from across Latin America, the Middle East and Africa.
Peter's really scrupulous. He wants to nail down a story, he wants to get both sides of a story covered. He'll take risks, he'll go places that others won't. He'll spend a lot of time on a story. And that sort of determination to tell the story and to tell it fairly marks him out.
Greste joined Al Jazeera in 2011, the same year he won the prestigious Peabody Award for a report on Somalia he did while still at the BBC.
Peter Greste is an old friend, an old colleague, a very good man, a great journalist. We worked together on many of the big stories of our time, and I always found him to be very careful, considerate, compassionate, and very good company. Then he went to Africa, and he fell in love with the continent. Even after he joined another network, he kept in touch with all of us, his BBC colleagues, and we marveled at how he continued to find the stories that no one else did. We watched him, we learned from him. Free Peter Greste. We miss him, we miss his work.
His friends, family and colleagues regard him highly for his compassion, his adventurous personality and his strong belief in social justice.
He's fun-loving, he's a very loyal person, he's got a very high sense of social justice. He's...
Well, I wouldn't perhaps say the ultimate outdoors man, but
yes.
Very nearly.
Yes.
Greste is not only an acclaimed journalist, he's also a published author.
Peter would be someone who you'd want to travel around the world with. He's very inquisitive, he's curious, he has a great sense of visual, he finds points of view that are just very, very interesting, and he's always looking for the truth, and sometimes the truth is not so easy to find.
Mohamed Fahmy, a Canadian-Egyptian journalist, joined Al Jazeera last September. He has worked for CNN and the International Committee of the Red Cross. He won the Tom Renner Investigative Journalism Award in 2012 for a documentary that aired on CNN called Death in the Desert. He's also an accomplished author, writing a book on the war in Iraq and co-authoring a book about Egypt's revolution.
I met Mohamed Fahmy just after the momentous events began in Egypt in 2011. I noticed him immediately. He was always on the scene, in the crowds, on his phone, committed, connected. I had a running joke with an Egyptian colleague. We were trying to keep ahead of Mohamed Fahmy in the news game, and always failing. And then he came to work with us for a while, and we saw close up the kind of contacts he had right across the spectrum, and how he would chase those interviews, the stories, until he got them. And he wouldn't stop until he did. But now he has been stopped from doing his job, from doing journalism, by his detention. Free Mohamed Fahmy. We need him.
Bahir Mohamed began his journalism career as a researcher and producer for the Japanese channel Asahi during the Libyan Revolution. He joined the Al Jazeera team in 2013. He's married with 2 children and a third on the way.
It's very precarious. This is quite disturbing, unsettling, and perhaps that's what some of the authorities want. They want a chill among journalists, both Egyptian journalists and foreign journalists. That's unfortunate, even tragic for Egypt, and it's not something that the world should stand by and watch idly.
The arrest of the Al Jazeera English staff has triggered a worldwide outcry, condemnation by fellow journalists, politicians, and filmmakers who have not been spared the media crackdown by Egypt.
The journalists need to be freed immediately. Mohamed and the others are respected internationally. These are senior journalists who are there in Egypt doing their job. That's important to defend and protect. And so everyone's calling on Egypt to release them immediately, respect freedom of press, respect their rights, and dismiss these ludicrous charges.
The Al Jazeera network continues to insist on the men's innocence and demand their immediate and unconditional release. Renee, Odeh, Al Jazeera.